The man brought $2 million to rescue his kidnapped wife and son, but after taking the ransom, the kidnappers kept his wife's ex-boyfriend behind. The kidnappers claimed $2 million could only save 2 people. His wife frantically begged them to release someone first. She promised they'd definitely get the rest of the money later. The kidnappers offered to swap hostages. His wife begged him without hesitation to switch places with her ex-boyfriend. Watching his wife of 20 years who'd never asked him for anything, now on her knees begging to save her ex-boyfriend, the man agreed to her request. He thought they'd quickly return with money to rescue him. Instead, he was trapped and tortured in a scam compound for 3 years, before finally hearing his family was coming for him. He assumed his wife had finally raised the money, but he never expected that the person who came to pick him up was his father's butler. Man completely broke down. He'd given up everything to be with her, even renounced his inheritance and cut ties with his father, only to end up abandoned by his wife and son. The purpose of the butler's visit this time, because his father's health was failing, and needed him to return and take over the family business. But the man still couldn't let it go. He wanted to go home first and demand answers from his wife. After he returned home, he found his wife's ex acting like he owned the place. The guy was inviting him to sit down for dinner in his own house. When the ex mentioned the salmon on the table cost 20 grand, that's when everything finally clicked for the man. He confronted his wife about dropping tens of thousands on a single meal, yet she wouldn't spend a dime when he needed help years ago. The woman couldn't say a word. The man realized he'd been played for a fool. 20 years of marriage meant less than $1 million ransom. His son called him dead weight to the family, said without the ex's money and connections, they'd never have the lifestyle they do now. Even claimed his only contribution was being traded for the ex 3 years back. Watching his wife and son defend the ex at every turn, he knew it was time to walk away for good, so he went to find the butler, deciding to go home and inherit the family fortune. But just as he was about to sign his name, his phone suddenly rang. Seeing it was his son calling, the man couldn't help but answer. His son told him something happened at home, urging him to come back immediately. The man's heart softened again. He told the butler the contract could wait. When he rushed home anxiously, he found his wife taking care of her ex. The drunk ex was confessing his love to her, telling the woman to divorce her husband. His wife turned and saw her husband standing behind them. She hurried over to explain. The wife said her ex was just drunk. She couldn't let him go home alone like that. But the man questioned his wife. Why was she letting a stranger sleep in their bed? His wife angrily cut him off, scolding him for being paranoid all these years of marriage, always suspecting her relationship with her ex. Then she told him to clean out the storage room, making him sleep there for the night. At this moment, the man finally gave up on his wife completely. While the man was packing his things, he received a message from the ex. Opening it, he saw photos of his wife caring for her ex. The arrogant ex kept taunting him. Just as the man was heartbroken, the ex suddenly appeared behind him, and told him the kidnapping years ago was all his doing. His goal was to make sure the man died abroad. The man grabbed the ex by the collar, saying he would expose everything he'd done, but the ex just laughed dismissively. He slapped himself hard across the face several times, then deliberately fell to the ground. When the wife came up, he started his performance. The man tried to explain, but his wife pushed him down the stairs. Then they prepared to take the ex to the hospital. Looking at the man lying on the ground, the wife felt guilty and wanted to check on him, but the man got up and revealed the truth about that year. Hearing this, the wife not only didn't believe him but slapped him. Then she left without looking back. Watching his wife's retreating figure, the man had no attachment left to this home. The next day, the man went to find the butler. Without hesitation, he signed his name on the agreement. Just as he finished signing and was about to head to the office, he discovered his son's birthday party was being held at the hotel. He found it deeply ironic. As the boy's biological father, he knew nothing about it, so he decided to go in and see what was happening. But when he walked into the private room, his son immediately showed disgust on his face. Then the ex deliberately started stirring up trouble. He gave his son a luxury car worth hundreds of thousands. Not only that, he also pulled out $1 million contract with the man's company, presenting it to the woman as proof of his devotion. The whole room erupted in cheers. Everyone thought they were the perfect couple. His son went even further. Right in front of the man, he wished for the three of them, him, his mom, and her ex, to be happy forever. The crowd egged them on to drink a lover's toast. The two drank from each other's cups right before the man's eyes. Just then the man received a call from the butler. A fleet of luxury cars was waiting outside the hotel to take him home. After hanging up, the man turned and left without looking back. Once outside, the butler immediately took him home to see his sick father. Looking at his father lying in the hospital bed, he rushed over and swore he would never leave again. Meanwhile, the wife's family had just returned home from vacation. The son got home and immediately yelled for the man to make dinner, not knowing the man hadn't come back at all. The ex beside them kept fanning the flames, saying the man was just throwing a tantrum to get their attention. He'd come crawling back in a couple days. The next morning, the wife realized the man still hadn't returned. She angrily texted him, threatening divorce if he didn't come back. Little did she know the man was on a date with his first love.